Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Business Growth and Entrepreneur Podcast. I am Bill, the company's expert. And if you are an aspiring entrepreneur or would-be business owner, I'm going to share with you a tip that I gradually learned over the course of advising many startup founders and many small business owners in my previous role a few years ago. For about 5 years, I took a paying gig where I was paid by the hour to advise lots and lots of startup founders and a few small business owners. And this is something that I saw that was a big problem for a lot of people. And that is that if you want to be a business owner or if you want to be some kind of entrepreneur that goes out on their own and does their own thing, you need drive. You need passion. So many times I saw a lot of would-be startup founders fail because they didn't have this drive. And quite frankly, I didn't understand it. These are people that have gone out on their own. Maybe they've obtained financing, they've obtained some capital, usually in the form of a government grant or something along those lines. And they've set up a company, they're developing a product or service, and they're going for it, which is great. But the thing that I saw that usually was the number one reason why people fail was because they just didn't have the drive. Now, what do I mean by this? What I mean is, first of all, if on the weekends you are not working on your entrepreneurial venture or on your business that you're putting together, if you regard it as a 9-to-5 job, where you work for a few hours a day and then you go home and you don't think about it anymore, that's usually, in my experience, a huge red flag. Okay, if you want to do something, if you're passionate about something and you want to do this and you've got this vision, you've got this inspiration and you're out to prove something, you should be dedicated to it. It was really puzzling, to be honest. Okay. You should like every aspect of your chosen venture, okay? You should not regard any particular aspect or facet of it as being too hard, something you're shying away from. And in my opinion, and this is based on a lot of experience, you should be in the state where you can't stop thinking about it, you can't stop yourself from working on it, because to you, it's fun, it's not work. That's the whole point. You are doing what you want to do. So if you want to do turns out to be a complete chore and, it's just tedious and it's boring and it's uninspiring, you're doing something wrong. Okay? Now, why do I say this? Why do I say that you need this kind of drive and passion? You need to be always thinking about it, always working on it. Why do I say that? Because, number one, you're going to be facing some challenges. Okay, it's going to be a rocky road, and that's how these things go. Some are more rocky than others, but everybody's going to be facing challenges, okay? And you need to have the ability to muscle through those challenges because not every aspect of it is going to be enjoyable, okay? So you have to have the commitment, you have to have the drive to want to get through these challenges, or else you will never get through them. You'll shy away from them or not solve them at all, not address them, and that means you're dead in the water. Now, where is this coming from? Well, first of all, this is coming from my memories of having lots and lots of sessions with the group of startup founders and small business owners, where you would have meeting after meeting, usually separated by a week or two, and there would be no news, there would be no progress, no development, nothing. And it felt really strange that, I'd start off these meetings by saying, "So what's new?" And they wouldn't have a whole hell of a lot to say. And that really kind of begged the question, well, what can I help you with if you haven't really moved too much since the last time we spoke? So that's always a huge red flag. The people that are going somewhere, they have news, they have accomplishments, they've met milestones, okay? And if you're not doing that, then something's usually not going very well. It means that you are on a path to fail, essentially. I hate to say it, but it's true. The other kind of element that was a red flag for me was that if you're meeting with your advisor, your mentor, and not only is there not a lot of news, but in these meetings, if I had to drive, if I was the one that was sort of leading the meetings, that was also a red flag for me. Usually the people that are passionate, that are accomplishing goals, they're the ones with a lot to say. They have a lot of questions. They have a lot to report. They're throwing around ideas. They're asking about, this option or that option or this possibility or that possibility. What should I do? They've got, they're steering the conversation and I'm assisting them. Okay. That was a second red flag if that wasn't happening. If I really had to be the one to try and bring up things and directions and ideas, you know what I mean? That was a red flag for me. And that was also an early sign that that particular founder or that particular venture wasn't going to work out. And finally, the third sort of thing that would trigger that is the meetings that you should have with a mentor or an advisor. They should generally be very positive. Okay? It should be, I wouldn't say inspirational, but it should at least be very positive. People are kicking around ideas and possibilities and talking about what you could do. And, and I'm not sure if that's symptomatic of a certain personality type to begin with, but if it's not like that, if the interaction is more negative, if, for example, I would bring up suggestions, have you thought about this? Have you tried that? How's this problem coming along? Have you given more thought to how you're going to solve it? Things like this. And you were met by a lot of negativity. People that were saying, well, no, I don't want to do that, or oh, I'm just not into that, or there's all these problems and I don't want to deal with them, or I don't like that idea because it would then encounter this problem. It ends being a very negative kind of interaction. And that also can be a red flag. It doesn't mean that you're not going to encounter challenges. It just means that you have to keep a very positive outlook. And the people that tend to succeed tend to be teaming with ideas, teaming with solutions to problems or possible solutions. And they have a lot to say, and they are open to a lot of suggestions, and it becomes a very positive, free-flowing thing. So for that reason, if you are wanting to be an entrepreneur, or if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, or someone that just wants a side hustle, okay, there's a lot of people in my experience that talk about doing those things, but fewer still who actually end up starting it. And of those people who end up actually starting and going for it, there are fewer that actually succeed. And this is probably the biggest reason why they ultimately don't succeed, is because of this. They don't have the drive. They don't have the passion. It's not fun for them. It's almost like a corporate job that they're not engaged with. So there you go. I hope you found that helpful. Thank you for listening. You guys are awesome. I hope you guys will tune in again for the Business Growth and Entrepreneur Podcast. Take care.